Alright everyone, welcome to another episode of Cyclone InCYders. We're doing something a little different today. Instead of you guys having to listen to us babble on and on about our opinions, we have Iowa State men's basketball star Izaiah Brockington on the show today. Gonna ask him questions about basketball and also just life in general. Should be a good video just for the fan base and anyone around the country to get to know someone who's putting together a pretty good season in Ames. Nigel, I'll toss it over to you for the first question.
Yeah, Izaiah, I think just to open up, a year ago today, you were preparing to enter the transfer portal, unsure of what the future held at the time, and now being in the conversation of all-American honors, was there ever a doubt, being from the East Coast, you know, you haven't really explored much other areas to live in, was the adjustment to Ames kind of scary, and like did you really doubt yourself ever when, you know, thinking about coming to Ames?
A little bit. I feel like I've been to, I lived on the East Coast and I had been to the West Coast. I had never really been to the Midwest, and like I really didn't know what to expect, coming to a place like this. But, having been at, two different schools, I had faith in my ability to adapt to whatever the situation threw at me. So it was just, saw some pictures, kind of got a rough feel of it, and and at the end of the day, I was like, it's a college campus, it's school, and I know what I want to do there basketball wise. So I just figured anything else I'd deal with it. I'd roll with the punches.
Okay, and then when I watch you play, you seem to have an extra gear, offensively and defensively. Being from Philadelphia, people are known for being tough and hardworking. There's a certain chip that people from that area carry on their shoulder. Do you think your upbringing has had an impact on how you carry yourself on the court and your kind of a mental approach to the game?
For sure. I feel like being from Philly contributes to my mental edge a ton, because just in Philly, it's, really kind of grimy, hard-nosed, like basketball, and everybody, like no matter who they are, they everybody has this level of competitiveness and this level of swagger, whether it's warranted or not. Like, you could be playing against some dude that plays every other day at the park, or playing one of the top kids in the city, and like either way, like they're coming at you like they know that you can't guard them and there's nothing that you can do with them, and everybody's like going out there and really trying to like embarrass you like from the jump. And it's like, if you don't have, I'd say really, if you don't have that dog in you as well, like you'll just like fold in those moments, and you'll let trash talk or your opponent's performance, and you'll let their confidence like wither you and wear you down. So you kind of gotta just go right back at them, no matter who it is.
So I kind of just want to ask, how could you kind of get a sense of what the team felt like coming into the season with a lot of criticism, like knowing you guys had that 2-win season, or a lot of the people had a 2-win season last year? How did you guys kind of deal with all the criticism? Did Oz kind of just tell you to not really think about it, or?
Yeah, I mean, the fact that it was a whole new coaching staff and like almost a whole new team, we had heard the criticism for sure. I remember getting here in the summer, and it was all that fans talked about, like, hey, you're gonna get more than 2 wins this year and everything like that. It kind of just made me want to prove people wrong even more, because it was like I didn't really feel any type of way about it because I mean, I wasn't on that team. So I was like, man, that's not me. That wasn't us. Like, I'm winning more than 2 games. Like, it was just like, I felt like I knew what we had and, you know, the type of plan that we were moving forward with, and I just had confidence in it, and it just was like feeling like, you know, you're going out there as an underdog and you're just going out there to shock people.
So kind of building off of that, I know you weren't here last year, but what's it like to be a part of a team that has made this big of a turnaround in just 1 season? A lot of teams, and with a new coaching staff, it can take several years. But I mean, 20 wins the very next year is really impressive, and you've had a big part in that. So what is just your overall perspective on how this season has been such a huge turnaround?
I mean, it's been really fun, honestly. This is what I dreamed of when I came here because, you know, when I was getting recruited here, TJ brought up, you know, the history of this program and how they had made the tournament, you know, 7, 8, 9 years in a row. And, you know, they were really, really good, really respected besides the most recent 2 years. So it was just kind of like I knew what had been here, and I saw, you know, on film and everything, the type of support that the fans here gave to the team, and they were really, you know, like a basketball school, and they were really behind you no matter what, as long as they saw that you gave your all, and that was like really encouraging. And it was just like knowing that I had a chance to come in and kind of be a part of this sort of like a rebuild, but like just restoring this program back to prominence in college basketball was super exciting to me. And I felt like it was one of those things like, if you do it, or like once you do it, you know, it'll be something that's remembered for a really long time. So I definitely wanted to come here and make that type of impact.
I have a counter question with that. Because of the way you felt about Iowa State, what in the recruiting process made this feel like the right decision to maximize your potential as a player?
Mm-hmm. So I was really in the portal. I was really looking for a role, like a bigger role on my team. Somebody who could, like, I wanted to be, you know, the guy, but like, you know, there's a lot of guys on teams that don't win, you know, so like I like hate losing. So I really wanted to win, but like I wanted to be somewhere where I feel like my full range of abilities and skills could be like used and maximized. And I feel like when I'm challenged with being, you know, the main guy, I feel like that's when I step up and play my best. So it was just knowing that I wanted that role, and then seeing this conference, like I feel like the Big Ten was kind of dominated by bigs, but seeing, you know, this conference and how it was more fast paced and more up and down and kind of more guard oriented, more ran by wings. You know, you see in the NBA there's Big 12 guards and wings and things like that, and it made the conference really attractive for sure. I feel like that was big on you know, the conference and the style of play was really attracted me here for sure.
Yeah, so you kind of talked about the differences between the Big 12 and the Big 10 and Big 12. What's like the difference, I guess, between, I guess, crowd environments, stuff like that between the two conferences?
There were some pretty good environments in the Big Ten. You know, you got some really nice arenas. You got Purdue's arena, Indiana's, and things like that. But there was also, you know, there's also some arenas that you go to that don't really, you know, get that full, and some that just don't really care much about the basketball side of their university. So, you know, it was sometimes it was, a great environment, but, there was some schools that would only show up if it was a rivalry game or whatever. So, I mean, I feel like here, it's even like pretty much every school we've been to, like, even if it looks like there's not a lot of people, like, the fans get loud, the fans are like really supportive. Like, we went to West Virginia, and on social media and everything, like, their fans were so disappointed in the season that they had, but they sold out Texas, like, right after coming here and like losing the close one. They sold out their very next game, and like that kind of support for basketball in general, like, is something I feel like is really unique in this conference.
So this is a question about your actual game. For someone who really the mid-range has been your shot this season, first of all, do you think that the mid-range is kind of a dying art in the sport of basketball right now? And then second of all, when did the mid-range kind of become your go-to shot? And was it on purpose, or did it just happen by accident?
First, I do definitely think that the mid-range is a dying art. I feel like, guys in the NBA really dictate a lot of, the trends. So, obviously you had big men and things like that, and you had, guards and wings, and now you got, threes like Steph Curry and guys like that are really taking over. And now you got analytics people in positions of power that really value 3-point shots because it's an extra point and not that much more inefficient and things like that. And a lot of even from hearing from scouts and things, like, the mid-range is really frowned upon in a sense at that level. And it's a lot of times because people don't hit it at a high enough rate to justify shooting it. But, like, I feel like the mid-range kind of became a big part of my game maybe my sophomore, junior year of high school. When I hit my growth spurt, I was like 5'9". My freshman year, I grew to like 6'1". I started dunking. I started being more athletic. So my dribble pull-ups were, becoming easier and becoming like less contested shots. And I just really felt comfortable in that area. So that really became my shot around that time. And then it just kind of continued. I continued working on it, working on different ways to get to it, different ways to make it, fading and things like that. And now I feel like I make it at, one of the highest clips in the nation. And it's, me shooting a mid-range is effectively like different than most people shooting a mid-range because it goes in at a higher rate.
You might have the same answer for these two, but A, who did you look up to growing up, and then B, who do you try and model your game after the most?
I looked up to my dad. He played basketball. He played in college for Coppin State, and they had their whole run in the tournament, 15 seed over a 2 seed and things like that. But really, growing up, I went to a lot of games with him, and just, he was a scorer. He was really a jack. Like, he's like to the like extreme. I just, I kind of play differently than him, but seeing his aggressiveness, seeing his competitiveness and his passion definitely rubbed off on me. As far as the NBA, I like to watch LeBron James. I love how he's great at everything, like on the scorecard, not just one specific thing. Russell Westbrook, I love how he rebounds, pushes the break, uses his explosiveness and things like that. But as far as modeling my game after, I'm gonna be honest, it might sound really corny, but I never really looked at somebody's game and always tried to do the things that they did, maybe see a move from somebody and try it, but I feel like the beauty of basketball is kind of everybody's ability to do it their own way. And like, I mean, obviously everybody who, you know, gets to the NBA and stuff like has things that they're great at and things that make them good, special, and like unique. So I don't know, I feel like however you get there, like whatever you're really good at, like it's just like I just like the individuality of basketball.
Do you think this would be a valid kind of player comparison right now? Me and the guys were kind of talking about it earlier. We kind of compared you guys to like kind of like a Dwayne Wade, but like James Harden-esque like hybrid, just because of your ability to hit step backs, but also your quickness and just explosiveness to get to the rim, and also the high clip of how you rebound, because Harden's a very underrated rebounder, and I think you are when it comes to guards. So would you say it's like a pretty nice comparison?
Yeah,
just
definitely.
accurate?
Yeah, I feel like, you know, my explosiveness and my first step. I mean, like I loved D Wade's ability to do that, and I feel like D Wade, like, was able to be so effective without shooting a whole lot of like threes, and like I really admired that about him. And like obviously James Harden shoots whatever shots he wants. He's really James Harden, so he could hit threes at any time. So, you know, you know, his lefty, you know, him being left-handed it throws a lot of people off, and I feel like, you know, people try to simplify it guarding me, like, oh, just make him go right, and like, but, you know, I can, you know, use my other hand and stuff like that. But guys like James Harden, like, he's left-handed, and like, you really won't stop him. Like, you really can't stop him from going left or going anywhere that he wants to. So I feel like, you know, his ability to create space for himself is definitely something that I enjoy about his game for sure. So yeah, those two guys, I like those.
What games do you think have meant the most to the team in general, and like have really showed who you guys are, like both offensively and defensively at this point in the year?
First I'd say Iowa, for sure. Because I'll start off with that one because, you know, many people may not know, but we weren't even favored in that game. Like, we were ranked, they weren't. We were at home, and they were projected to beat us, and it was kind of like their high-powered offense versus our stifling defense and things like that, and it was just kind of like a battle of really opposite styles, and I felt like we, you know, had a really good practice, really good scout, and we went in there and like imposed our will on them, and the fact that we were able to keep them at bay on offense, like, keep them at bay on offense, like, really helped our offense. So that was a big one for sure. Xavier was another good one, because even we were down at the half, but like our entire team was really calm. We were sticking to our game plan, and we just, you know, continued to play D hard, continued to, you know, and keep running our offense. And then lastly, Oklahoma State. I felt like that was probably our first road win of the conference season. And that was like, nobody was up by more than 4 points the entire game. So like us keeping a level head, and so many different guys made plays during that game, it was kind of, it really showed, you know, what we can do, you know, when our backs were against the wall, and when we really needed to make plays, we did.
You like those gray unis?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they were cool. Oh my God, I was like, I mean, some people may not like them, but like I was waiting. Yeah, I was waiting forever to wear.
Do you guys only wear those once a year?
I'm pretty sure. But I was glad we got a win in those, because when you lose, they're like, we shouldn't have wore those. It's like superstition.
Yeah. After the West Virginia win, it was a little hard to hear him because of his lost voice, but TJ mentioned the gratitude he had for you and Gabe. Didn't even really care about the game, like he didn't want to talk to the media about the game. But after, it potentially being your last game at Hilton, is there anything you want to show gratitude to, whether it's Ames or just like your teammates or just the coaches or whoever that may be?
Yeah, everybody, really. I mean, I'd start off, with the coaches and the coaching staff from the minute they recruited me. They showed me that they believed in me and my potential as a player. They believed I had more in me than had been shown in previous seasons. So it was, they got the ball rolling. They really believed in me, and they told me what could happen if I came there, and they told me about the guys that I would be playing with. And when I got there and met all the guys, like, they chose a great group of guys that were really coachable, really positive. We all got along really quickly, and I feel like that was a unique thing about us. Like, the coaches did really good setting up like team activities and stuff for us to do, but like we all kind of gelled pretty quickly. And I feel like the fact that we were all really new to Ames and new to this team kind of bonded us even more. Just like, hey, we're all new here. Like, we're all, going out on a limb and trying to turn this thing around. So, I mean, definitely all of those guys and my teammates always believing in me and encouraging me no matter how the game's going, and really putting their trust in me as a leader. But just the entire city of Ames, man, like, to come here as a 22-year-old dude trying to turn the team around and restore it back to its prominence. The support that we got was crazy. Like, we were playing the most random non-conference teams, and like first bowl was filled and second bowl was like almost filled, and like the noise level, like I hadn't had a home. I've never had like a home court advantage like I have here, and like the fans here love basketball and they know basketball, and like they appreciate all the little things, the defense and diving on the floor and rebounding and taking charges. Like, they go nuts for it, and it's like, they just really appreciate all the things about basketball. And it's like, everybody here, honestly, like, I thank them because they kind of like changed my life over the course of the year. Like, so they've helped me, everybody's helped me become, as successful as I have been to this point.
Nigel mentioned Coach Spots, so I feel like I gotta ask. I'm curious. Hopefully, what's his bench, max bench?
Higher than mine, I can tell you that.
What's yours?
Man, mine is like 235.
235?
Yeah, I'm not a big bench guy, but he's in there before. I go in to work out before practice, and he's already lifting.
Mm-hmm.
Got his headphones in and got the
Strap
strap things around his hands. I was like, yo, he's got those. He's lifting something serious. So like, I don't know what it is specifically, but
we were placing bets. I said at least 3 plates, but I don't know.
I can see that.
He
got no spotter. He doesn't have anybody in there spotting, so I don't know if he goes crazy like that.
Yeah.
But like, at least probably 275.
That's not sure.
What player for Iowa State do you see kind of taking off next season? Maybe some that fans might not know of yet or wouldn't expect it, I guess.
I really like Jaden Walker. I feel like he's got a whole lot of potential. He's really talented. He's got length. He's got speed. He's really athletic. He can like play D and like really bother people. And he can score too. Like we saw it in the summertime. Like he's like got a really high ceiling. And like I just like his mentality, and I feel like he has the potential to really step up and really take off for sure.
You potentially played yourself into into the NBA this season, with the season that you have been having. What do you think scouts see in you that contributes to that? And then why should an NBA team draft you if given the opportunity?
I feel like they see a guy who has played almost every role in his basketball career. Like for my freshman year, I was like a spot up shooter, like shooting straight threes. And then I got to Penn State, and they wanted me to play defense, and they really started me on using my athleticism to go rebound and really, just chase boards. And then I feel like they see a guy who can use his explosiveness to get to the rim, a guy who can score, but also, like make plays for teammates, like if put in that position, like in pick and rolls and things like that. Like I feel like I can hit the big. I feel like my ability to make mid-ranges when I come off a screen, like can draw multiple eyes, defenders and things like that. And really ultimately I feel like they see a competitor, like a guy who's going to go out there and be a dog and, not really care who's in front of him, but go out there and bring a level of intensity that when I look at NBA games, I don't always see, which is why I don't really like to watch a lot of the NBA, just because it's like a bunch of dudes they got paid already, so they're just kind of like chilling. Like the intensity level doesn't really pick up until playoffs in my eyes. But I feel like we see a guy that's going to go out there every night and give 100%. And if a team were to draft me, I feel like they'd be getting a guy who goes out there and produces, and like goes out there and just tries to get it done. Like whatever they tell me to do, like go guard that guy or go grab these boards or stand there and be able to hit an open three and things like that. Like I'll go out there and like get it done and like show why I deserve to be at that level or stay at that level.
Is that something you're gonna miss about college? Like the kind of how every game kind of matters, and like there's really no off days, there's no load management. If you're healthy, you're playing, and the game is gonna matter. So like, is that something if you make it to that level, is that something you're gonna miss?
Yeah, I feel like the fact that games matter, I feel like that like motivates me and like really pushes me to play well, like, and really give everything, just because it's not like it just means something to me, it means something to the fans and my teammates and everything like that. So like I feel like it's different in the pros. There's more games. You can feel like you can let one slip or whatever, and it's like, yeah, I feel like I would definitely miss the passion, the passion that's present at every game at the college level for sure.
If you were able to, what is some advice you'd give to like a younger version of yourself, like just coming into NCAA or anywhere around there?
Coming in to college, I didn't know the work that was required to be a very like consistent player at this level. Like I didn't really realize, that it was like all the little things that really went into making a great player, like kind of like, your stretching routine, the amount of sleep you get, the food that you put in your body, you know, the workouts, the things that you work out on, you know, focusing on specific things that are actually gonna come up in the game. You gotta have to have more focus and intent in your workouts. I feel like, you know, you gotta know what your role is and know what you're gonna be asked to do first and foremost. Make sure that you produce in that role, do what your best in that role, and then from that, I feel like coaches will give you an expanded role, and then you can just further build. But whatever you're being asked to do, like, go all in on doing that. Don't think about what's next or too far ahead. Just go out there and be you and be the best at what you need to do.
So all those things are a part of the journey. And although your particular journey was not always easy, it took you some time to find where you fit in. Now that you have that 20/20 hindsight, do you look back and really think that this was all worth it to get to this point?
For sure. I feel like, I mean, my journey's been different, like, for a while. So, I mean, it's just, my whole journey has been about betting on myself, really, and just having faith and continuing to keep my head down and work, and feeling like, you know, one day my time would come. One day I'd be able to really show everybody like what I could really do, and yeah, I don't really regret it. Like, everybody, you know, has this vision of what their college career will be like, and you know, it can be discouraging when it doesn't pan out like that, but you know, you just got to keep moving forward, and you got to keep working and keep having faith.
So to end it off, we're just going to do some lighthearted, rapid fire questions, just like bang, bang, bang. So first one, pancakes or waffles? And you can give a brief explanation on why, whatever you pick.
Pancakes, I'm a really like I like convenience when I eat, so buttering up pancakes is a lot easier to me than buttering up waffles. Like, you know,
You gotta get each square.
yeah, the square, the butter's gonna fall off in the square. You gotta scoop it out. It's a little too much of a hassle. Yeah, so pancakes.
Burgers or glizzies?
Burgers.
Chipotle or Punch?
Chipotle. I don't know what punch is.
Puncheros.
Oh, we did have poncheros at the gym. No, definitely Chipotle. Because
I agree.
Yeah, definitely Chipotle.
Okay, my question is, what is your favorite fast food restaurant and why is it Burger King?
Well, because Burger King's fries, when they're hot, go crazy. I get a little extra packet of salt. You sprinkle that on there. But like, their burgers are good. They had the little chicken sandwiches. Those was alright. But yeah, my redshirt year at Penn State, I ate Burger King like every day, like every Monday through Friday, because they had the 2 for $6 spicy chickens. And I was like, wow, that's a steal. I would get that and a large fry, like right after class, right before practice, like almost every day. That was a problem. Don't do that. But yeah.
So Burger King over McDonald's, right?
Yeah.
I get crapped on for saying McDonald's or Burger King, but McDonald's is overrated.
Yeah.
If you're on a budget, it makes sense.
Yeah, like, but McDonald's, I don't know. I like that more when I was like younger, but as I got older, it was definitely Burger King.
Carter told me one practice, it was like right like in the summer when you guys were starting to get to know each other. Said you walked in with like a bag full of Burger King.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would do that. Because like, really, I just can't start like a workout or like practice with no food.
Yeah.
I will like start blinking and things get fuzzy and passing out. So like, my body just kind of runs off of like any type of food. So as long as it's like convenient food, quick, tastes fine, like Yeah, I eat it.
Who's the GOAT? Bron or MJ?
Brian.
Yes.
Oh, he's my dad. 40,000, 10,000, and 10,000. Like,
Thank you.
we're talking about all-around basketball player. You know, killer mentality's fine, but like, come on, man. Like,
I would
look
say,
at his
like,
prime. He's still in his prime.
I would say, like, if you were gonna make a basketball player in a lab, it would be LeBron.
It would be
It would not be Michael.
It
Jordan.
wouldn't
It would
be.
be LeBron.
Right.
When you go on 2K and create a player, like, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the demigod. It's prime.
Earlier off camera, you mentioned that you were a fan of the Sixers. As you know, of recent trade rumors, well, not rumors, or happened. James Harden moved over to the Philadelphia 76ers. Thoughts on the addition, and are they contenders and/or favorites to win it all?
I wouldn't say favorites, but they definitely contenders now because, like, now Joel Embiid has somebody who can truly take attention away from him. Like, I feel like in the past, you know, Ben Simmons could, like, set him up and stuff like that, and he could find him in places that he liked, but it was like, Ben's not shooting, Joel's gonna score and beat you. Like, now we have James Harden, who is like underrated rebounder, underrated passer, because with the Rockets, he made Clint Capella look like an all-star, like just straight throwing lobs. Like, so his ability to draw attention and then kick it out, you know, in a pick and pop situation with Embiid, that's dangerous. And then Tyrese Maxey really coming into his own, like, I feel like they're definitely contenders.
Is Embiid your favorite for MVP this year? Yeah.
Yes.
Don't forget
Definitely.
Niang. Don't forget Niang.
Oh,
Third
yeah.
option.
Can't forget.
Favorite music artist to listen to before game? I'd hope Meek would be on there, being from the East Coast.
Meek's on there. I have like a playlist. A lot of guys that are on it. You got Meek, you got Kendrick, you got Drake, J. Cole, things like guys like that.
So just kind of ended off, we kind of picked two plays here. What play was better in your opinion, the dunk on West Virginia or the ankle break on McCaffrey and then hitting the step back?
And then shaking your head.
Right. I'm gonna say the West Virginia one because, well, I was finally on SportsCenter this season because I got on like twice last season, so I needed one this year. But it was on SportsCenter, and it was to take the lead in a close game. Like, we were already like smacking Iowa, and like I loved that reaction when he fell and like made it, and that's a great GIF. Like, I have that. So like I love that one, but yeah, I'd say the dunk on West Virginia. Yeah.
It was a little low on SportsCenter. Was
Yeah.
it 4?
Everybody,
4 or 5?
everybody told me that it was 4, and they were like, "Bro, what was number 1?" Like,
Yeah.
yeah,
If it was Braun or someone, they'd have it number 1.
Yeah.
For sure.
yeah.
All right, that's a good place to end on. Isaiah, we want to thank you for being here. It's really cool to like support a campus club, so we really appreciate it. Yeah, thank you guys for tuning in to Cyclone InCYders, and we'll be back again next week. Maybe we'll have some athletes on again in the future. Peace out.